advice directly from the set of Alvaro Geist on the Universal Lot. It's the Hollywood Horror Nerds, your #1 source for news, speculation, and discussion exclusively for Universal Studios Hollywood's Halloween Horror Nights. And now to your hosts, Undead Ed and our renowned director, Alvaro Berg.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Welcome. And let me just say what an honor it is to be joined by the esteemed director of such hits as A.T., the Alvaro Terrestrial, and Saving Pride of Alvaro here on our set at the Hollywood Horror Nerds to talk about our final preview, Hollywood Horror Nights 2025. It's almost here.
Yes, can you believe it? It's, as of this taping, it is what, 2 weeks away? Less than 2 weeks away?
I think Orlando starts, in a
next
week,
week,
and Hollywood starts 2 weeks from now, and we'll be there the week after.
Yeah.
So we are attending on September 13th. It's not Friday, unfortunately. It's Saturday the 13th, but it is a 13th, so I'm hoping they juice up the Jason maze a little bit extra for us.
Of
We'll have
course
to wait
they
and
will.
see.
Why
And we're
wouldn't
not
they?
there opening weekend because we were worried about the heat. Because last year, if you remember, like opening day was crazy hot, which there were no lines, but everyone was miserable and went home early. So we're hoping we hit that nice. Everyone's kind of in the stride. They've done a few run-throughs now. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, when we went on week 2, it was actually kind of crisp. It wasn't hot. It wasn't cold. It was just right.
It is. It's what you want in the fall, especially in LA. So we do have a lot to get to today. It feels like this is almost going to be the third show in the row that we're covering the same things. Because, first of all, the speculation we did, which wasn't our own speculation, to be fair, we got it off the internet, but it was, dead on accurate. I think there was one miss on there. I think every other maze hit. And then, of course, we then confirmed that in the last episode. They also announced all of these kind of within the same 6 weeks almost blocks. They used to spread out a lot more. And they've moved to let's just get it all out kind of in the summer. I think also the effect of they were waiting for FanFest to be over before they really started promoting Horror Nights also kind of condensed our usual season a little bit. But that's fine because now we incorporate FanFest into our season. So look forward to start talking about that in December. But let's stay focused. By us, I mean me. So we are going to talk about the same mazes, but this time what I've done is I've done more research. So this is actually a great time to be stopping your Horror Nights social media. I know this today was my last day. I'm going to be off Horror Nights Twitter. I'm going to stop looking at the websites because they've started doing walkthroughs for influencers, which means Horror Nights spoilers are going to start leaking out into the open. I mean, there's nothing to really spoil in terms of plot. There actually was last year in Eternal Bloodlines. But other than that, you're going to walk through a maze. You'll see scary scenes. You'll get spooked. But if you want to preserve seeing all those scenes for the first time, you want to preserve every jump scare, this is the time. Stop looking at the internet because this stuff goes out pretty fast onto your Instagrams, onto your YouTubes, on your TikToks. Time to start being beware.
Yep. Especially since Orlando is starting earlier than us. They're definitely going to be posting a lot of details, a lot of mazes. And a lot of their stuff's going to be very similar to ours.
Yeah, we know they've said that Five Nights at Freddy's in particular is pretty much a one-to-one recreation. The only difference is some parts in one or the other may be slightly smaller just because of how the space is. But they're putting that in Hollywood at the soundstage where they put the Weekend and they put Dungeons and Dragons there for a fan fest. So that's the largest space they have to work with. So I don't think we're actually going to have the smaller maze. If anything, we'll have the larger Five Nights at Freddy's maze. So what I have done is I've collected all pre-spoiler content. So without looking at any walkthroughs, I did see on Instagram today, they're starting to let people walk through, and I clicked away very fast. So I said, no, this year I'm being pure as the driven snow when I go to Horror Nights. But I collected everything else, all the interviews Murdy's done, all his little tweets that he's put out, everything I could find, excluding like leaks inside the maze to figure out what's going to be inside these. So this is going to be the most complete preview you can get anywhere.
Woo! Let's go.
So with that as our introduction, Alvaro Berg, you've done essentially no research. Is that correct?
Correct. I am even purer than the pure snow.
You are purer than the pure German snow. But you were at Midsummer Scream, and we'll talk about that as it becomes relevant as we go through talking about some of the experiences you'll see. There wasn't a lot announced at Midsummer Scream. There was talking about two of the mazes, and there was one new feature that I'm going to talk about, I think, during the Scare Zone portion that I'm very excited for. And that's all the teas you're going to get. So we're going to
Oh,
walk through all elements. Again, this is supposed to be your ultimate preview, the final preview. And unlike Friday the 13th, this will be the final preview. There will not be another, 9 movies after this. So we're going to start talking about the food. Then we're going to talk about the scare zones and the shows. And we're going to finish off with the houses. So if you're bored of the house talk, 'cause we've talked about it twice, even if we've had new information this time, I think you should stick around. I think it's going to be really fun. If you don't think it's going to be fun, you can click off after we're done, because we're saving the best for last. So let's start with the food. And let's start off, first of all, just something I noticed as we were setting this up. Part of the reason we're talking about food, I feel like when we started talking about Horror Nights, just as friends, we always complained that there wasn't themed food. And one year they had Leatherface barbecue, and it was great. And since
delicious,
then, they've
delicious.
they've never really topped that, to be fair. But since then, they've expanded the food offerings more and more, and we're still far below where Orlando is in terms of food. I don't I There's a lot of jockeying in terms of Orlando so much better than Hollywood when it comes to Horror Nights. I don't really buy into. I think the styles of the houses are very different. Ours is strangely, even though it's in Hollywood, feels less Hollywood. It's a little more grungy, feels a little more indie, whereas the Orlando ones feel very neat, just based on what I've seen. But in food, they definitely have us beat because in Orlando they construct several, boutique eateries for the event. But Hollywood has been stepping up its game, at least in terms of the food that's being offered. So there is only one kind of boutique food experience, but there's going to be a lot of different kinds of food scattered around the park, and that's what we're going to talk about first. So I'm going to give my buddy Alvaro Berg here a rundown. I'm not going to mention every food option because there's too many to list. We'll be here all night, but I'll kind of give him the highlights. So at the upper lot where Fallout is located, there is a wealth of Fallout food, which I'm excited about because that is a big part of the Fallout game. So you have to eat the weird food to, restore your health and get back up. So let me give you a sample of some of what's coming. And if you think one of these sounds really weird and you want to get more information, feel free to stop. We'll talk about one or two. So included in the Fallout food options in the upper lot, we have roasted radroach legs, roasted sting wing, iguana on a stick, yum yum deviled eggs, and if you're a little more basic, you can still get the Brahmin burger. Now let me talk about these yum yum deviled eggs because Alvaro Burke, have you ever been at Horror Nights and it's kind of hot and maybe you just did the giant cardio walk up the stairs and you think, well, you know what sounds really good right now is 3 deviled eggs. Have you ever had that experience?
I've had parts of that what you just discussed, but I've never had the ending where I go, deviled eggs sounds like they'll just hit the spot right now.
Have you
I've
ever been
never
in
had
line
that.
at Horror Nights and you're thinking, you know what would really make this better is if the guy next to me just ate deviled eggs so I can just smell that on his breath?
That is just devilish. That is just horrible.
Well, good news. They thought of this problem. So they're called the Yum Yum Deviled Eggs, which is from the game. I think they're in the show too. But they're not actually deviled eggs. It's a coconut panna cotta filled with chamoy pineapple bits, topped with mango topping and tahini. Am I pronouncing that right? The red
Tahini.
crumbles. Tahini.
Tah-
Topped with tahini. Does that sound better than a deviled egg to you?
That sounds more like a fruit bowl.
Yeah, it's a little fruity, kind of cakey treat.
That
We might
sounds
have to
more
get these
delicious.
because they come in a pack of 3, so you can split it with your group.
Yeah, that sounds way much better than deviled eggs, because
But
I was
that,
not about to smell the person next to me.
I mean, it's them. That one I think they're going the most all out with, where they look exactly like deviled eggs and like gross deviled eggs that survive the apocalypse. And the rest of the food doesn't quite look as bad. The roasted radroach legs, I have to say, I'm looking at a picture of them. They are actually uh, blackened turkey wings, but they look like the cockroach legs in the game, the giant
Oh
cockroach legs.
no. What
So
about
I'm
the
excited
roasted
for
iguana? That one's
the roasted
interesting.
iguana. Okay, I'll tell you about the iguana on a stick. It's a cornflake. It's a cheesy cornflake crusted corn dog because it's on a stick.
Ah, it's a
That
corn
one
dog.
doesn't look. That one looks like a corn dog. It doesn't look like an iguana, I have to say.
I was excited. I thought they were gonna shape like bread into an
The shape
iguana.
of an iguana. That'd be
Yeah,
wild.
like a
That'd be
pretzel.
wild. Comes
Yeah,
with fries.
it's not the same. I've been let down.
I think this might be taking over the place where they had the Star Trek food, kind of that studio cafe area on the upper lot, because this is a good variety of food. Now, we were very disappointed with the food at FanFest. If you listen to our
Uh-huh.
FanFest review, we spent a lot of time complaining about it. I'm optimistic for this. It looks good, but we have to wait and see. There's also a variety of Fallout drinks. They have four on offer. They have the Radaway, which is served in an IV bag.
That
There's the Sunset Sarsaparilla, which is a big drink from the Fallout New Vegas game, the Quantum Fizz, and the Nuclear Blast. The Nuclear Blast is the only alcoholic Fallout drink. The Quantum Fizz is, I think, a riff on something else from the games, the Nuka Cola. There's a Nuka Cola Quantum drink you can get that's all blue, and that's this. It looks like this Quantum Fizz. Now, I looked into this because the Nuka Cola is an iconic Fallout thing where it's supposed to be the riff on Coca Cola, but has a little nuclear power inside of it.
mm-hmm.
And there is an exclusive deal that the creators of Fallout have with Jones Cola from Washington, who they're the only ones who can produce like Nuka Cola branded beverages. And Universal has an overall deal with, I believe, Coca Cola, where Coca Cola is like the exclusive soft drink in the Hollywood Park and probably the Orlando Park as well. So I don't think you'll actually have Nuka Cola, which is disappointing. I think they're trying to get around it by saying, well, in New Vegas, they have Sunset Sarsaparilla. We can have Quantum Fizz, which is like Nuka Quantum. A little disappointing, but I'm still on board to try some Fallout food. How say you?
I'm trying to get into the sarsaparilla one because that's a flower. I'm interested in what it's gonna
And do
be
you want to
like.
hear what's in it?
Yeah, let's go.
It's interesting. It's hot honey root beer topped with sweet cold foam. It's non-alcoholic. The hot honey root beer, so it's going to be kind of like a root beer, but with a little bit of a kick to it, which sounds intriguing.
Yeah. And what about the alcoholic one?
It's quite alcoholic. It's vodka, peach schnapps, blue carousel, orange and lemon juice, simple syrup, and Sprite soda topped with a dehydrated lemon wheel. It's bright green and has a biohazard sticker on the side, so it looks like you're drinking nuclear waste.
That sounds like it's gonna also be sweet.
Yes, all the drinks at Horror Nights are always sweet. Have we ever had a drink at Horror Nights and thought, this isn't sweet? Maybe you have the Duff.
Yeah, this is gonna like spike my sugar, which I need for to survive in the fallout shelter.
Yeah,
No, it's gonna be. I want. They always claim that they're very alcoholic, but then you taste it and you're like,
they're always watered down.
yeah.
You have to pregame at Margaritaville. That's the move.
Get the flight ready.
Now, do you have any other thing to say about the Fallout food? I think the Fallout food looks good. I'm interested in it. Probably of all the foods, it's probably the thing I'm most interested in.
I am very interested in the fallout food just because as so this is where it deviates. You haven't watched the show as much, right?
I have seen parts from the show. I've never actually just sat down and watched the show. No.
Yes, I've sat down and marathon the show.
Yes. And I've played all of the games, even the old ones that
Yes,
aren't good anymore. And you've played none of the games.
correct.
So I think it'll actually be very interesting. I thought about getting you one of the Fallouts on Xbox to play, but I think it'll be interesting to have our review of the game player and the show watcher and see if we have a different take on how the
Yeah,
actual house is.
which we had a similar experience with The Last of Us, where you played the game, I believe,
Right.
but I
I was
only
more familiar
watched
with
the
the game.
show. I've only watched
Yeah,
the
I
show,
think
and
I
it
walked
was
away with a
different.
better impression as a result because it was based on the game.
Yes, it was. It was based on the game, but here Fallout's based on the show, not the game.
Yes.
So we're gonna
We're
see
gonna
how
have
this
more to
goes.
say on Fallout later on. I do think the food might be. You have to tell me as a show watcher, as a game player. I think the food is gonna appeal more to the gamers because in the game you're eating this food all the time. You're always like, man, I wonder what it's really like to actually eat this rad roach meat that I need to get my health points back. And
Hmm.
now you can really do it.
You know what's a fun story? the food is not a big theme in the show.
Right, because you're just watching them eat it, just kind of in the background.
No, there is no food. You hardly see them eat food.
Yeah. I think at some point the ghoul explains that sometimes a fella has to eat another fella, unless I miss my guess.
Yes, he does. He does say something of the sort, but
Yeah.
that did not look tasty. When he ate another fella, that did not
Yeah.
look tasty.
I mean, I'll say other than the loaded cram fries, there's cram in the game, not like cram fries. And there's no Vault Dweller wedding cake. There is a red velvet cake in Fallout 4 that looks very similar once you open it. I think that's what it's based on. Every other one of these foods, like you find them in the world and you pick them up, carry them around, you eat them later on. So they definitely stuck very close to that, which I appreciate.
The
But we're
wedding
going to talk
cake
more about
sounds
Fallout later on. We
delicious.
can't spend just an hour on Fallout food. We have to move on.
All right, all right, all right.
Next door to the studio cafe where we think Fallout will be located is Chucky's Dive Bar is coming back. Even though Chucky is not at the event, they announced this food, and I thought, oh, Chucky's going to be back at DreamWorks Theater. But no, it's just the Chucky's Dive Bar. I think it did very well last year, is what I read in terms of these online groups. Some of the insiders at Horror Nights said, yeah, it did crazy numbers in terms of moving drinks, so they're bringing it back. So it's got 3 drinks: Playtime's Over, which is tequila based, a Friend Till the End, which is vodka based, and the Charles Lee Ray, which is bourbon based. So this is all alcohol. It also has, strangely, a Hello Kitty Chucky crossover with its strawberry cheesecake sundae, and it has a Hello Kitty Chucky branding on the sundae cup. It looks like it's like vanilla ice cream, and it has like a strawberry drizzle, look like blood, but then it has a Hello Kitty sprinkle ear. Her hair bow is stuck into it too. Very strange crossover. But I feel like it's gonna hit with a very particular demographic. Who's
Very
if you're into Hello
specific.
Kitty and you're into Chucky, this is gonna be a must eat for you.
This sounds very very niche.
Yes, yes. How do you feel about the Chucky's Dive Bar coming back?
I mean, I hope it's better than last year,
Did
but
we get Chucky's? I don't know that we
I
got it
don't
last year. The
I
line
don't
was
think
too
we
long.
got I don't think we got it. We didn't. That's what I'm saying. I hope it's better. The
Yeah,
fact that we actually get to eat
maybe
it
we'll
this
hit it
time.
this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the
Also on the
crossover is just odd.
yeah, I kind of dig it, to be honest. I like that it's so weird.
I wonder who would win though. Hello Kitty versus Chucky.
I think they would be friends. I think they would really get along.
Mm, doubt. I think Hello Kitty would win.
Also on the upper lot is the Dia de los Muertos area with its kind of taco truck kind of vibe. They got nachos, they got burrito tacos, they got corn off the cob, tortilla chips, cinnamon tortilla chips, and pineapple spears with chamoy, along with a good variety of different margaritas and other tequila or gin-based drinks. So what we said last year,
Delicioso.
and they also have the walking taco, lest I forget. This is kind of it's big in Orlando. They're trying to import it over here now, where it's basically a bag of Doritos or Tostitos that is opened. It looks like a bag that they've opened, and inside are either the Doritos or Tostitos, but then also the fix-in of a taco. So you can eat it with a fork as you walk. That's what it's called, the walking taco, without making a mess.
Uh, I know what
And
you're talking about.
what we said last year that I think is also true this year is you have a lot of options for very good Mexican food in Los Angeles. Even
Yes.
in Universal City, in the San Fernando Valley in general, I can think of 2 or 3 places just right off the top of my head that are iconic. And let's be honest, you're going to pay the same price because the Horror Nights food is always jacked up. And unless you really want to get the walking taco, I don't think it's worth it to hit the Dia de los Muertos food.
Oh God, no. You'll probably get it cheaper outside.
Yeah, you could go
It's
to a nice Mexican sit down restaurant. You're going to pay the same, probably for more food.
you'll pay the same, but you get way more food.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
I mean,
not.
it looks fine. It looks good. It doesn't look bad. It's just you could get better. I gravitate towards the food that is unique. Like I'm not going to get Fallout themed food anywhere else. It's only going to be here.
Let me just drop a nuclear bomb and we can get Fallout food.
I don't think it would taste as good. It would be the real deviled eggs.
It's-
Also on the upper lot, this is only going to be a little food cart, so it's not going to be a big deal. But it is going to be at the it's going to be part of the RIP restaurant. So if you are the RIP tour, you'll be able to get this drink. This is the Clown Cafe themed food. So this is from the Terrifier
Terrifier.
franchise. There's not a lot. So at Orlando, they made a whole Clown Cafe. They talked about this at Midsummer Scream. At Orlando, not Orlando, at Hollywood, there's a little food cart, and they have this special drink. So they have the Arts Delight drink, which is it's an alcoholic drink. It's got it's black with whipped cream on top and a marshmallow that's been some cherry syrup on top. So it does kind of embody that black and white but bloody art, the clown kind of vibe. I think it's cool. It's going to be available in the RIP lounge. I will probably get one because I like that you can have you're getting your buffet. They serve the alcohol as a separate charge because they don't want you to get too hammered. But I like that they're including with the themed drinks in that they haven't in the past. It's just kind of been very generic drinks.
That'll be
They
so
also
hilarious to get hammered at the cafe, though.
at the Clown Cafe. I think getting hammered at Art's Clown Cafe has a very different meaning than what you are thinking of. It involves a whole
Hey,
different kind of hammer. Yeah. They also are going to be selling the Art's Bloody Masterpiece donut, which is essentially the Simpsons donut, but with chocolate frosting instead of pink. And it has a bloody handprint, and in bloody writing says Art was here on the box. They also have the Sunflower Glasses cookies, which is from Terrifier 2. There's a scene where Art is in a costume shop and he's playing with different glasses, and it's kind of an iconic thing that he's wearing these goofy sunflower glasses. They've turned them into cookies that you can buy at this food chart. How are you feeling about the Terrifier food? Is it terrifying you?
um, the prices will probably be the most terrifying aspect of it.
Yeah, they're like art on your wallet.
Oh, the I am looking forward to the drinks. I am The sunflower sounds delicious. They always make delicious food. The donuts are top notch.
You're a
So
big fan of these big donuts.
yes. However, I wish they would sell them in smaller sizes because they're way too big now.
I think it's cool that they are working this Terrifier themed food, and even though they understand, I would like it if they were just opened more dining options, just more pop-ups, so we could have a full Terrifier menu. But I think it is a good step forward in that direction that they're including this stuff at all. Even it's going to be at a small, just a food cart.
Yeah, Orlando is always throwing in our faces that they create big things, but that's because they have space. We
Yes.
do not.
We have a whole functioning movie studio at our theme
Yeah,
park.
yeah.
All right. Also, it kind of in that similar vein of not a lot of space, but they're doing something. There is a Freddy Fazbear Pizza location on the lower lot. It's not really clear where it is or how it's going to work. I think it'll be somewhere around that Panda Express, or maybe it'll be around. I think it might take over the Studio Eats, where that's usually like the mummy corn dogs. We'll have to wait and see, but they're going to do something for it, even though it's not going to be a full sit down pizza location. You can get a small, it looks like a personal size cheese or pepperoni pizza. It's also a character from the game. There's a cupcake that I think has come to life and is trying to get you, or it's a friend. I don't
Mm.
play the Freddy games. I don't know, but there's a Mr. Cupcake. So I know fans of the franchise, which we're not. So I try to defer to, how what are the fan reactions I'm seeing for people who are excited for this. They were upset that there wasn't going to be the full location, but seeing that there was something satiated them a little bit, and they were very excited that Mr. Cupcake made it. They were happy about this little cupcake.
So what you're saying is something was better than nothing at the end of the
Yes.
day.
I
Uh,
expect you'll be able to get the Freddy pizza in the RIP buffet as well, because usually there's a pizza option.
yeah, I think what we're they're probably gonna be at Mummy Eats, and which begs the question, how long is this line gonna be? And if you want it, know ahead by an hour that you're gonna want it, so you can put it in
Yes.
on the app.
Because I think that's a good point because I think a lot of Freddy fans are going to say I will wait in the hour line for my personal cheese Freddy Fazbear pizza.
Yeah.
I look, the pizza at theme parks is never good. It's just I don't think this is going to break the mold, but I think for a lot of people having that branding on the box and they want to keep the box as a souvenir, that's going to be big.
Which is crazy. I would not keep a pizza box as a souvenir. But
But
that's
it's a
just
whole
me.
pizza.
That's
Pizza's
just
a
me.
big part of the franchise. To be fair, it's a pizza
Yeah.
themed experience.
Of
Uh,
course, but I'm like, it's already dirty. It's not like, like popcorn buckets. You can clean those and be sanitary. This pizza box is not
Staying
used.
staying on the lower lot, the boutique pop-up food option that we talked about that started with Leatherface Barbecue this year is the Jason Universe Barbecue. So it's like a Camp Crystal Lake cookout. You can get the Pamela's smoked brisket mac and cheese,
Mm.
Camp Creamy Gouda fondue, Crystal Lake campfire dog, mess hall turkey leg, and the Jason Universe mask s'more, which is a giant Jason mask shaped marshmallow on top of chocolate and graham cracker with a blood splatter, either strawberry or cherry drizzle on top. It looks like they're trying to replicate the mini Stay Puft Man s'more last year, which we did not get because it was an untoasted marshmallow. I heard it was very nasty. So hopefully this year they will toast the marshmallow and it's a nice melty s'more, in which case I might get it and we can split it amongst 3 or 4 different people because it's a lot of s'more.
And it's gotta be
Um,
a lot of sugar.
They also have special drinks, Mommy's Special Margarita and Pam's Punch. There is a collaboration going on between the JC Universe and the Angry Orchard Cider Company. So these are both Angry Orchard based. So if you don't like apple cider, you might not like it, which I'm kind of in that group.
You don't like apple
I think
cider?
I'll drink it. I don't love it.
I've seen you drink it. Liar.
Yeah, I don't love it. I'll drink it. I don't love it. I'm not going to pay $20 for it
Of course not.
just
That's
because they say it's
ridiculous.
Pam's Punch. It's not even Jason Punch. It's Pam's Punch. What's
Uh,
your take on the JC Universe barbecue?
the barbecue sounds meh.
Yeah, I'm a
Uh,
little disappointed. It doesn't seem like it's leaning enough into the idea of the camp food. It's just
no.
kind of, I mean, fondue,
Yeah, what the
mac and
heck? That's
cheese. This isn't really camp food. The campfire dog is the only thing that feels like this fits, and the rest of it just feels like I don't know. They need to move away from always doing barbecue in this slot and broaden their horizons a little bit. It should be like 3 different kinds of hot dogs and a burger
yeah,
and
cause
like a
like
vegetarian option. That's what
when
it
you
should be. That's
when
what you would eat.
when you've gone camping, how many times have you gone? Thank God I brought the fondue machine. Never, never,
Now it would
never.
be cool if Jason used a fondue machine to kill a camper, like he drowns them in the fondue, but he's never done that, so it doesn't
No.
apply.
Or if the blood became the fondue, ooh,
Yeah.
that'd be delicious.
So I
Yeah,
mean, this might be a skip, I think,
yeah,
compared to some of the other stuff we've already talked about. Doesn't
yeah,
seem as, which is a shame because Jason Universe we're both crazy hyped for, but the food is a bit of a letdown.
yeah. It's just like, did you do any of you guys ever go camping?
I don't think so. I think they get a menu from like Universal Food that's like, here are the 10 foods we can do and make it work. I think that's probably how it works.
Yeah, no, they really they're indoor people. They
They
needed
didn't
to
bring their best. They didn't
they
bring their best for Jason
no
Barbecue.
no they needed to talk to actual campers, people who go camping, and be like, what food do you guys eat? This is not it. No, this is
Now,
not it.
last but certainly not least is the Slash Bar. This is going to be located above Jurassic World The Ride. This is where they've had the Weekend Bar. This is
Yep.
where the Dungeons and Dragons Tavern was located for FanFest. It's in a location that usually during the day is just used for overflow seating for Jurassic Cafe, and Horror Nights always becomes a special boutique pop-up bar. And this year's themed to Slash, which I think is cool. We talked about this last time. I think it's cool that Slash has been involved for years now, and he was a very early person who was involved with Horror Nights when they didn't really get much celebrity buy-in. Even if he's not as big a celebrity probably as he was when it started, I think it's cool that they're honoring him kind of in this way. It's a lot of tacos. So it's 3 different kinds of tacos, and they're all kind of Asian flair. There's a chicken satay taco, a Thai beef, a Thai curry taco, slash top hat sponge cake, and then a bunch of different drinks. The Night Train, the Dance of the Dead, and the Beautiful Dangers, which is all based on Slash's music. This one we you do usually get a drink here. They all have syrup, so I think it will be very sugary, which it usually is.
Mm-hmm.
But that's par for the course with with Horror Nights drinks.
I mean, yeah, it's not a horror night's drink if your sugar doesn't spike.
Yes, yes.
um,
But I think it's cool. I think it's cool and there's also going to be at least they've said there will be a Slash Stilt Walker walk around up there. I don't know if it's gonna be a really scare actor, maybe, maybe not. But I think it's cool that they're gonna adding more experience to that upper bar area as well.
Well, there should be one with the crows because his music's gonna be playing.
That's true. It ties in with the crows.
Yeah,
That's just that we'll get to that when we go through the mazes.
but I'd be like, I wouldn't be scared of Slash. I'd be like very hyped.
And we usually get a drink at this bar. It's just a nice place to
Yeah,
take a breath, kind of after the in the middle part of your evening.
yeah.
I imagine we probably will this year, and I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I'm more excited for Slash than Weekend. That's just because I like old music. It's funny. I was reading the forums and people were like angry. They're like, "No more classic rock. We want more Weekend." I was like, "No, we want more Slash, less Weekend."
Even the weekend's giving up on the weekend. I heard.
That's true. That's what we heard at Midsummer Scream. No more Weekend. It's weekdays from now on.
Yeah, the weekend's
That'd be funny. He
retiring.
comes back as the weekday, and he's like all serious now.
He comes back as Monday,
All
the worst day.
right,
The
so that's it. That is the full food lineup. Of course, the other foods will be open. I'm sure Panda Express will be working. It's always working.
of course.
Overall, I think it looks like a good slate. Now I'm a little nervous because FanFest also looked like it was going to be a real step forward for food, and it was a real step backwards for quality. So the proof is going to be in the proving for this. But I think looking at the menu, I'm excited to try some of these out.
Yeah, isn't the saying the proof is in the pudding?
I changed it. I thought it sounded better this way.
Terrible. But
No,
yes,
it was better.
it's it all depends on the execution. They can say everything and anything on paper, but once we're there, once it's over, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, you have to remember for FanFest, the churro, the Harry Potter churro, was literally a different product than what had been advertised. They just
Yeah,
changed it.
they
It was
they
very annoying. I was very excited for that one.
yeah they said it was gonna be like four different kinds of churros at the end. It was
Right,
like
it was
all the
just
same
two
smell.
churros that just had slightly different frosting. It was not
Yeah,
great.
and the frosting didn't even have flavor.
Listen to our full FanFest review to get the full rage of the inadequate churro. For now, we have to move on. And we're going to talk now about the scare zones and the shows. Alvaro Berg, how much do you remember of the scare zones that we talked about last time?
I remember that there's gonna be four scare zones, and
Do you
what
remember
was
what any of them were?
the
Let's start
scare
with your
zone?
favorite. Let's start with Baby Crow. Tell us about Baby
Baby
Crow.
Crow, Murder of Crows, Baby Crow.
So
There's gonna
Murder
be
of
a
Crows.
Stilt Walkers.
Yep.
It's gonna be on the upper lot, and
It's kind of if it's going to be in the same place, which I believe it is, it will be outside of Hogsmeade. So it's outside the Harry Potter, kind of on your way from Universal Plaza to Springfield. And what was
yeah,
very interesting to us last year about Murder of Crows and why it was our favorite scare zone of the year was because it was less about scaring and more just about interacting. So they had this great Baby Crow animatronic. I've seen Instagram reels confirming Baby Crow is being unpacked. He's back, the true star of Halloween Horror Nights. They had stilt walkers, they had just walk around crow characters, but the characters seemed less interested in just giving you a jump scare. They would also stop and let you take pictures with them. In other scare zones, they're always like, no pictures, keep moving, no stopping for pictures. In this one, they encouraged it. They did little dances with the guests. It was much more interactive than we usually see for a scare zone. I'll be interested to see if that continues this year as well.
oh yeah. Oh, and one fun, great thing that Murdy announced during FanFest Midsummer Scream: no safe zones anymore. They will
That's
all
true. We can talk
follow
about that
you.
now. So that's not true for Murder of Crows, but there
Yeah,
is a new element that I think has potential to take over scare zones and just replace that whole concept almost. And they said because they were talking about the Terrifiers, they talked about the Terrifier house for most of the panel, and they said so even when you leave the house, you're still not safe because there's going to be a roaming Art the Clown scare actor. And he's not limited to one zone. He can go anywhere in the park, including, the food, including the lines, even the RIP lounge. He can go anywhere and scare you from any time. So you're never safe. And I thought this was brilliant. What did you think?
I love it. I hope he doesn't cover the bathrooms in feces like in the movie, though. That's my only
I
drawback.
kind of hope he does go into the bathrooms. Like you're just relaxed, you're doing your business. Then you hear like the honk honk right behind you, and you're like, oh,
And you're like,
Look, you can't mess yourself in there because you're already got your stuff. You're good to go. That's the perfect place.
you're like, I thought I was constipated, not anymore.
Nope, nope. So I'm very excited. I think Art is a perfect character for this
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
he there's two parts of Art. First of all, there's always a sense in these movies, which look, they're not perfect, but you do get
They're
this
low
vibe
budget.
whenever Art walks into a room, they do kind of have this vibe of like these people are like in serious trouble. Like
Yeah,
it's bad when Art shows up. And he always not always, but he has this way of doing these funny clown things. Like he plays into the funny clown sometimes. So
yeah,
there's a good variety of first you laugh and then you die horrifically.
yeah. He's a mime, and
Yeah,
like a
and he's
clown.
nonverbal too,
Yeah,
which makes it a lot easier for the scare actor. We saw the scare I don't know if it was a scare actor or the real actor they had at Midsummer Scream. I think it was a scare actor giving us a little preview. Did a great job, I thought, portraying the character.
yeah. I think the actual actor was taking photos, and
Yes, he
that
was
was
busy.
probably yeah. So I'm excited that
I'm very
I swear,
I don't know if there's going to be like multiple or just one. My guess would be they would have at least two. They would have an upper lot and a lower lot one.
yeah, because I was gonna
Maybe
say
as many as
it's
three doing different areas.
yeah,
But it might just be one and just make it rare that you see the art walking around, which would also be kind of cool. Like it's not everyone sees it, so when you see it, it's like, whoa.
yeah.
But
But
I'm excited for that.
perhaps it'll be like it'll be in a zone where you can't see them at the same time. Like even
That's
like
what yeah, they would have to do that.
in the upper lot, let's just say one could be in the Harry Potter world and one could be on the other side near like the Secret Life of Pets or something, like really far away from
Yeah.
each other.
I know Disney is always very careful to do that with their walk around characters, that they can never have the same character can never be viewed at the same time
Yeah,
from the same place.
it breaks
So they'd have
the
to work out a system for that. Now, I think that this could be expanded in later years because we've been talking more and more how the scare zone just getting weaker. And with the loss of those lower lot sets, it feels like there's nowhere really to put scare zones anymore in the park other than at the entrance. You kind of need the one at the entrance. It wouldn't be the same thing with those chainsaw guys, right? When you walked in, so that one has to stay intact. But I think get rid of the other ones and go and say we're going to have 8 different characters that just roam the park, and it would open up a lot of different horror IP that would work. So there's some that would like Freddy wouldn't work as well unless you let the actor talk.
mm,
Chucky would be hard to do, but there's so many that wouldn't work as a full maze, but would be great as a walk around character. I just saw the movie Weapons Day. It's a new horror movie. It was good, not amazing. Ending was weird, but it was good. And there were just shots of one of the. I'm not going to give anything away, but there were shots of one of the characters you kind of see from a distance, and it was so creepy just to see them from a distance. I thought, wouldn't it be so cool if I'm at Horror Nights, I'm eating my rad roach legs, I'm relaxed, and I look up, and like 3 tables over is this character just giving me that creepy look? That
mm.
would be great. And that's a film that wouldn't work at all as a maze, but in a different capacity like this would be amazing. And I think there's a lot of other properties out there that would be the same.
Yeah, no, definitely it's gonna be better. I hope it's better this way. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially because Murdy has gotten the reviews that in general the scariness of Horror Nights has gone down. So they're trying to
Yeah, they're
really
really
up it
trying to
up.
bring the scares back. And I think the walk around, I love the idea that you're not safe anywhere.
Yeah, I hope they get him in the parking lot. No, not just kidding.
No, you have to buy a ticket.
Yeah,
No scare if you don't, it's pay to be scared.
there you go.
In terms of the other real scare zones, in the
Uh,
traditional scare zones, there is also
Noche de
we talked about Murder of Crows
Brujas.
at the well, sorry, yeah, Noche de Brujas, Night of the Witches in English is going to be after you leave Monstros 3. For the last I don't know how many years that's been consistent that they have a scare zone there that's really just almost an extension of the maze that you just left. It was a little more creative, I think, when we were doing Universal Monster mazes there, and you would leave and it would be the Mask of Red Death scare zone. I thought that was a really cool one. You hated the Luchadors monsters that they did last year. It
Correct.
wasn't scary, but it was interesting. It was
No,
I
it
thought
was not.
it was creative designs. It was kind of fun. It was like an old comic book.
Okay, that's
I
only
remember
because
they
you
they
like
did
classic
a
monsters.
They did a Christmas in Hell kind of zone when they did Holidays in Hell there, which we discussed. If you go listen to our Christmas at Horror Nights episode, we talk about that one in depth. So I'm not going to regurgitate the discussion too much. And this is going to be bouncing off of the three female ghosts in Monstros 3. It's going to be kind of Latin themed witches. I've seen some of the previews. They look good. I think it'll be fine, spooky. The thing with this one is it's kind of out of your way. You just finished the house. You're kind of on that come down, and they try to spook you, but it never really hits. I don't love this location as a scare zone.
Mm, no, I just don't like the concept. It's yeah,
Witches. I mean, you can do a lot with it.
I guess, but unless this witch is planning to like smack me with a broom, I'm not gonna be scared.
Well, the last one is kind of the ones at the beginning. Now, there's two here, but I group the ones that the chainsaw ones kind of walk down the alley, and then the actual set piece at the top of the alley. I kind of group that as one scare zone in my mind. And this year is Chainsaw Clowns leading to the Carnival of Carnage.
Back to the clown works. Now,
So the chainsaw guys will be clowns this year, and it's going to lead to a carnival themed scare zone that, based on the preview material they've shown, is also going to be heavily clown themed. I'm hoping that's just the scenery, because we talked about last time. I thought you could do so many cool things with the carnival. You could do how about a lion tamer who's been half eaten by the lion,
uh-huh.
or the trapeze guy, but he got blown with a cannon, but part of him stayed in the cannon or got blown off by the cannon. Those are kind of similar ideas, but I think just a good variety of characters you could do. You do stuff with the freak show. I hope it's not just clown, 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 clown.
They're just gonna be clowning around.
It's too much clowning around. I got enough of that from Terrifier. I'll be
uh,
interested to see if Art will wander into this scare zone and try to mess with the other clowns.
I was just thinking that I was like, what if he tries to kill the other clowns because there can only be one clown?
It would be funny to see the scare actors getting scared.
Nah, that'd be
Yeah.
too funny. That'd be too on the dot.
Now that's it for scare zones. There's one more element before we get to the houses. That is the shows. There's two shows this year. One of them, unfortunately, is Purge, Dangerous Waters. We've talked about it ad nauseum at this point. Go listen to any of our old shows. The takeaway is it's a good show. It's fine. Maybe better if you're really into the Purge. If you're really done with the Purge, like we are, it's less. The stunts are good. The plot is very bad to the point that it really detracts from the overall show. And I don't think we're going to go watch it this year because it's 3 years in a row of the same thing now.
Yeah, nothing's. I could probably like say word for word everything that they're going to say.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
That might be the
yeah.
only point of going to see it is to just mouth along the whole time. See if you can.
Yeah, nah.
So that's Dangerous Waters. It is what it is. Look, if you love The Purge, if you haven't been before, probably worth checking out. It's fine. Interesting, the new show. I thought this would be Late Night at Chucky would be returning, but that's not the case. Especially once they announced the Chucky food. It is going to be in the DreamWorks Theater. It is going to be a riff kind of on what they did at FanFest, where they imported a 4D anime show from Japan. But this is Chainsaw Man, the Chaos.
Ooh.
Chainsaw Man is an anime. It's a horror anime. It's a guy his hands are both chainsaws. His head is also a chainsaw, so he's very chainsaw forward, and he fights ghosts and pumpkin demons. So it's very in the Halloween vibe. It is also anime, which they did not have at Horror Nights previous. I think they saw the success anime had at FanFest with the huge lines for One Piece, and I think the show also did pretty well in terms of wait time. I think they say, hey, let's try to grab the audience again. The theme I think this year overall is they're trying to grab a lot of audiences. If they can micro target someone, they are this year. It's an original anime short film directly from Universal Studios Japan, based on the popular Japanese manga anime series. It plays in language, so this is not going to be dubbed in English. It will be in Japanese with English subtitles. It recounts the tale of Denji and the Devil Hunters as they battle the Halloween Horror Nights Devil and his army of zombies. Denji is the Chainsaw Man, the devil human hybrid, protruding chainsaws from his body takes control in a quest to combat the devils. Again, I don't know much about this IP. I don't really know anime. I will say I'm more into this than I am Purge.
Eh, I don't want to read. Just kidding.
It is going to be in Japanese because I think they're saying, look, it's a low cost import. We get something to fill that DreamWorks theater space. We can keep running what we usually run in the day. But I think it's cool that they're reaching out to the anime fans like this. I think it will be popular. I think you'll get a good contingent based on the reception we saw at FanFest.
Oh, they'll definitely get someone there. Is
I think the make or break for me on this would be how long is it? Is it a 5 minute, a 10 minute, or a 15 minute? Because if it's just a short show, I could see myself wanting to just sit down, take a load off, and watch this interesting little cartoon. But
not a
if it's going to be
cartoon.
an anime, if it's going to be a 15-minute investment, I probably would find something else to do.
Yeah,
But I'm not. I think it's neat. I think it's neat.
it's
I
a
would have rather had Chucky back, a better Chucky, but I think I'm not. This isn't detracting from the event for me.
no. Especially last year's Chucky was such a freaking letdown.
It would have been better if they had Chucky, but good.
Bigger, better, more
Chuckier.
unhinged.
Yeah. Chucky unhinged. That would be good. But I think this is fine. I think there's a certain segment that's gonna be very excited, and I'm happy for them. Because I think this is a horror night where I think everyone's gonna have something to get excited about, which I think is cool. Because I think last year there was nothing for anyone to get excited about.
No, and when we did get excited for Chucky, it was a
It was
letdown.
a letdown. Yeah.
Yeah, they
So
censored him too much.
on that note of something for everyone to get excited about, let's get to the meat. We've been recording for a while, but we're being thorough. This is your big preview, guys. This is everything. And now it's time, finally, the main event. Let's talk about our 9 houses coming to Horror Nights this year. So what we've done already is we've pre-ranked these. I did a ranking, Alvaro Berg did a ranking, and we have them now ranked in terms of our hype from least to most. And this is pre-research hype. So this is kind of before I went in and did a little more digging. So some of these might have raised in my esteem a little bit. They may raise Navarro Berg's esteem as I share what I've learned about them. Interesting, we found that we were very simpatico. There were a lot of ties on this list, either because we had the exact same rankings or because they were only like 1 and 2 were just swapped on our list. So when we average it out, it came out to the same number.
We're
But we're
very
gonna
similar,
start.
apparently.
We're gonna start at the bottom and work our way up. So it was a tie. It was a tie for ninth place. We're gonna start with my number 9, which was Alvaro Berg's number 8, and my 8 was his 9. Let's start with my 9 first. Terror Tram, featuring the horrors of Blumhouse. So this is a repeat-ish from last year. Last year we also had a Terror Tram focusing on the horrors of Blumhouse. It was a very Megan forward tram, which at the time I liked because that was when Megan was still kind of fun, and now she's not because Megan 2 was an abomination.
Mega
That would
2
be a
had
good,
not
that
come
would be a
out yet.
scary tram. Imagine you're on the Terror Tram. They're like, you can't get off until you've watched all of Megan 2.0. That's terrifying.
No, that would be if the DreamWorks theater, if all of a sudden Mega 2 started playing.
You're gonna watch Megan 2 together. That's a scary attraction.
Yeah.
But this is not going to be a one-to-one repeat. So let me share what I've learned. First of all, it's going to feature a lot of characters, more than last year. So last year we had the grabber from the black phone, we had Megan, we had Purge characters, we had characters from Freaky, and we had characters from Happy Death Day. This year it's being joined by characters from the Black Phone 2, Exorcist Believer, and Insidious. You might remember Insidious came to Horror Nights last year, so I imagine they're going to be reusing a lot of those props and the costumes,
Yeah.
which I think is, I mean, it's smart from their point of view. I think it's a little less exciting because if it had been no Insidious and now we're getting Insidious, that would be more exciting from a fan perspective. But I'm kind of into seeing it back. It was my favorite maze last year. I did a lot of binging Insidious movies to get ready for that, so I'm glad I can reuse that newfound knowledge again. So it's going to start while you're on the tram. It will be hijacked by Megan, and she'll kind of welcome fans to her Nightmare Blumhouse experience. I think they kind of queued that up before Megan fell out of favor. The first segment will be kind of in three parts. The first is they're calling it a living trailer for the Black Phone 2, which takes place, it's somewhere cold. I just saw the trailer today actually in front of Weapons. They're somewhere cold, it's snowing, and the boy is received from the first movie is now the grabber who was the killer in the first movie is now calling him on the Black Phone. So in the first movie, he's receiving calls from the grabber's victims. He defeats the grabber. Now in the Black Phone 2, the grabber is the one calling, which is kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
This living trailer concept has worked for them before. They did that for Exorcist Believer, and we thought, kind of worked, even though you didn't know the story. It was kind of a cool way to experience that concept. Speaking of Exorcist Believer, the second portion is Exorcist Believer. And then and I think that will be kind of on your walk up to uh the Bates house. You'll take your
Yeah.
picture. The last section, which will be, I believe, where the airplane crashes, will be the purge. We've seen that be purgified, I don't know how many times, more times than I can count off the top of my head. And the final section, Megan will lead guests into a real life nightmare version of the Blum house. So Blumhouse is a name, but it's like also a house. So this is the Blumhouse. And inside will be a gauntlet of Blumhouse characters attacking you. And I don't know if they're going to recreate all those RIP photo ops they had last year. It kind of took too long in my book. I would have rather not had that and just got into the next thing. But it's not for me to decide. So
That's
knowing
right.
all that, you rank this 8. So now I've given you the lowdown. It's not going to be a one-to-one repeat. It's not going to be all the same scenes, which I welcome. Unfortunately, it's going to have Exorcist Believer scenes. Unfortunately, it's going to have Purge scenes. I'm a little ambivalent about Megan now. I don't know. Maybe it'll be nice to give her a last hurrah. I don't not think she's. I think she's going to the graveyard. I think her movie's going to be. It was giant money loser for Blumhouse. I don't think they're going to be a Megan 3 anymore. What do you think? Where are you at on Terror Tram?
It's still pretty low. The photo ups are gonna be okay. It was just a lot of like moving us around, like herding us like cattle for that part.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's just
Because
like,
I mean, your group will be done with your photo op, but if the group ahead of you isn't, you just gotta hang out there. And it's
yeah,
always a little awkward to, at least it is for me. I've never really locked into like I'm gonna talk with this actor at Disneyland who's playing Mickey Mouse as if they are Mickey Mouse. I want to be like, what's it like wearing a Mickey Mouse costume all day? But they can't talk about that. So I never really enjoy those forced interaction moments, or I have to pretend I'm talking to a real character when I know it's a guy in a costume. I
yeah.
don't know. I can't get that deep.
It's like, Megan, how do you enjoy being a robot? What's the
Now,
internet like?
I will say this will also be the first year in a while there will be no Nope or Us section on the Terror Tram because those sets have been removed from the backlot,
Are you saying that's
which
a nope for us?
it's a nope from Universal now. Fine, they're on board with my idea. Because if you've listened to our past podcasts, you know I despise the movie Us, and I hate Nope just by association. So this is an addition by subtraction for me. But I know a lot of people do enjoy those movies, and this might be a minus for you. So be aware of that in your own personal hype list.
I'm
And
I'm I'm excited that it's gone.
I'm excited it's gone too. I hope a lot. I mean, just especially at Horror Nights, they did the same skit there like 3 years in a row. It was getting old. It was old, like the second year already.
Uh, it was
Okay.
even scary.
So that is tied for last place. It was tied with WWE presents the horror of the Wyatt Six. I pronounced this Wyatt Sticks incorrectly when I announced it in the last podcast. It's the Wyatt Six, not Sixi. It's Sicks. But there's also 6 of them. It's all very clever.
Ha ha.
Now, we did learn more about this maze at Midsummer Screen.
Yes.
This was one of the ones that they talked about. Not the one they talked about the most in depth. That was Terrifier. But this one, I think they talked about the second most. And I'm going to let you give them the lowdown. But I want to say, first of all, in our previous speculation episode, I said, I think this is an IP that really hits in Central Florida. I think the WWE is huge in that region of the country. And this is an Orlando led maze for Orlando that's kind of getting forced into Hollywood because they got the overall IP deal. And based on the discussion we saw with Murdy and the Orlando guy at Midsummer Scream, I feel absolutely validated. Where Murdy was like, "Yeah, I had to approach this as like an original make because I had never seen this group before. I never had seen these WWE anything." And then the Orlando was like, "Yeah, I watched like every appearance by these guys, and I'm recreating all these iconic moments by them, and I'm going to take you onto the WWE sets." And he was like so much more enthusiastic about bringing that WWE into Horror Nights versus our guy who was like, "Yeah, I had to really do a lot of research for this one." So I feel very validated.
Yes. So it is based on a group of six characters from WWE, and I believe they were very active about 20 years ago or something like that.
No, no, there was one guy who was active for a long time, and he was kind of a horror themed character.
Yeah.
And Ray Bradley is his name, and he passed away. Unfortunately, it's always sad when we lose someone who's talented. And this group was launched by, I think, his brother is also involved in wrestling, and this group is kind of a continuation of his character's storylines and his themes.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting. We actually saw someone in line. We were talking about like, what the
Yeah.
heck is this? And he's like, oh, there's a lot of horror theme elements to them.
Oh,
It's not just,
he was excited for this
oh
one.
yeah, yeah.
He was
He
like, "Yeah,
was,
this is gonna be like awesome. It's gonna be so good."
yeah,
And again, this is something we've said before that this wrestling stuff hits within its crowd, and within its crowd, they are really into it. So I think this is just something that you get it or you don't.
yeah. And it's honestly, it could also be a generational thing because he looked like
He looks
maybe
a
the,
little older,
yeah, he was a little older, so
but we look
maybe
older too. I think you're still thinking that we're young.
you were younger than him for sure.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
We looked younger than him. That's
No,
all
not
I.
too much. Not maybe
Yeah.
5 years, not 10.
Don't say that.
Yeah, but
Just
go on.
because
So what?
you're undead, you look the same.
That's true. I don't age anymore. So what did you learn? What did we learn at Midsummer Scream about this?
For Midsummer Scream, they're gonna take us right into the set of the WWE. We're gonna
No,
see
that's Orlando.
oh oh that's right.
Should I
Oh
tell
my
you
god.
what we learned at Midsummer Scream?
Yes, because I could totally confuse it.
You did the Orlando. You did the Orlando research.
Yeah.
All right. So based on what I remember, this is a little bit. It looked like it kind of had Rob Zombie vibes, and that was very much. I think Marty might have even mentioned that. I read that online. That it's that kind of almost hillbilly horror where you're going to be on the bayou and you're going into the Wyatt Six compound where all these characters live together. And they highlighted that there's a lot of tributes to this character. The Fiend, I think, was the character's name, portrayed by Ray Bradley, where he was known for a lantern. And they're going to have rocking chairs kind of throughout the house with the lantern nearby. Will be hidden in different ways, so it's kind of a fun see if you can find all of these lanterns. I think it's also cool that they're paying tribute to this individual because he was someone who they said really wanted to be at Horror Nights for a long time, and unfortunately, he passes away just a few years before it happens. I think it's nice they're paying tribute to him in that way. And you'll be going through this house. It's going to be the first time they're doing a Firefly effect at Hollywood Horror Nights. I think that's kind of cool. And it's a bayou kind of swampy setting that this compound is based in. You'll be going through all the different twisted minds of the Wyatt Six. So I think if you know the characters, that might mean more to you. They didn't go too much into detail about what that means, but Murdy said he was approaching this kind of as if it's an original maze, where there's not going to be a lot based on if you loved like this appearance by the Wyatt Six. Don't
Right.
expect to see it at the Hollywood version. You will see it at the Orlando version. But the Hollywood version, it's going to be mostly original content, kind of in that House of a Thousand Corpses, grungy hillbilly horror vibe.
Yeah, the Murdy did show a picture of the house from the outside, and it looks very Bayou-esque.
Yeah,
So
it did a
you
good
could,
job. I mean, the concept art did a
yeah,
good job
the
capturing it.
concept art, yeah, definitely. So I'm excited to see like just exactly how it looks when we're live versus the concept art. But based on what he showed us, it looks very good. It looks like it's gonna be
Yeah,
very good. So
I'm sure they'll do a fine job. It's just not in our wheelhouse. But because it's taking that almost original tone, I think that it has potential to shoot up our final ranking list if they really give us something we don't, because we just don't know much about. It's hard to be hyped for something you don't know anything about. I think if it turns out it's really great, it could very much shoot up much higher on our list.
Yeah, I'm not expecting a lot again because I'm not into wrestling. So anything will be an improvement at this point.
All right, so those were our bottom two of the hype list. Next on this one, this was our consensus pick for this slot. We both give it the same ranking. It's Monstros 3, The Ghosts of Latin America. Varberg, why did you put this near the bottom?
Because I said this before and I'll say it again. It's hard to be scared of something I don't know. So some of these characters look conceptually kind of scary, but then I'm just like, why am I supposed to be scared? Why do they have that?
Well,
Is
what
that
I've done
significant?
this
Is it...
year, what I've done as a master podcast host, I've noticed that for like 5 different episodes, we've complained that we don't know what's up with these monsters, and I don't think they're going to explain it in the maze. So what I did was I did my own research, so I know what's up
Ooh.
with these monsters now. Do you want to hear?
Start with the least scariest one.
All right. Well, there's three. You're going to actually start with the first one. So the three ghosts this year, they're all female. Uh, La Llorena,
Yorona.
La Llorona, La Muelena, and La Seguanaba.
Okay.
Now, I think most of us know La Llorena, Lorena,
Yorona. Yorona.
Llorona. You just pronounce it from now on for me.
Yo.
I think
Ro.
most people
Na.
in the southwestern United States at least are familiar with her. She had a movie that was in the Conjuring
Yeah.
franchise a few years ago.
Yeah,
For
her
those, and
English
she's been
name
at
is
Horror Nights.
the Weeping Woman. She's the
Yes,
Weeping Woman.
and she's been at Horror Nights. This will be her third appearance, I believe. But for those of you who aren't familiar of Varberg, why don't you tell us a little bit about what her deal is?
So the story is that she drowned her children after discovering that her husband was cheating on her. And because he beloved those children more than anything was the main reason why she drowned them. Once she gets to heaven and St. Peter's like, "Where are your children?" She is she is condemned to search the land for her children because without them she cannot enter the pearly gates. So in nighttime, if you hear weeping, a woman weeping, going, "Where's my children? Where's my children?" Watch out, because she might just take you and pass you as her child.
Yes.
So
It doesn't go well if she takes you. I think
no,
previously at Horror Nights, the children she takes also ended up getting drowned.
yes, so fun.
And she's from Mexico, I believe.
Yeah, she's heavy in Mexico, chance in other parts, but very heavy in Mexico.
Yeah. Now, something that I would like our audience to keep in mind was that her story starts with being cheated on by an unfaithful husband, because that's a
Yes.
theme among all three of these ghosts. So
Interesting.
let's go north to south. So in Central America, this year coming to Monstros, La Seguanaba. It's a beautiful woman, the ghost of a beautiful woman, and she attracts unfaithful men. So a man who has a wife, but he sees this gorgeous woman, usually around a body of water, so a river or something like that. But once she has them follow her, she's like, "Come, let's go somewhere secluded to get let's get to know each other a little better, huh?" Huh.
Biblically.
And as they go into the secluded area, she turns around to them and she reveals her true ghost face, which is always it's either different version of the story, but it's either rotting away, all ugly. Sometimes it's a decayed head of a horse, which we see in the preview images for this maze. It's that horse head, and then she presumably does something terrible to the men. But it's that same kind of concept of taking revenge on an unfaithful man.
Question. Did your research indicate why she takes the form of a horse face?
It did not.
Because that's very, like, specific. I brought in face, sure. Human, I expect, but horse, that's a choice.
I mean, these are all based on real legends.
Yeah.
So maybe the legend has its origin with someone, walking through a field and they find a decayed head of a horse and get scared by it. And that over time gets retold and retold and retold until it becomes this particular legend.
You know
That
what
would be
I
my
think?
speculation.
My speculation would be that her cheating husband killed her, and to defile her further, put a horse skeleton, horse head on her body. That's where I think it would be.
Maybe she's just really into The Godfather.
Stop.
Our final ghost is from Colombia, so we're in South America. This is La Morena. She is, again, another woman. She's often depicted with large, sharp fangs. I think for Hornets, they're going to really not just have two fangs, it needs to be a whole mess of sharp teeth.
She has like a
And
dentist.
she is specifically punishing men who cheat on or otherwise mistreat and beat up women.
Mm,
So it's all kind of in that theme of women who either, getting revenge for being wrong, or women who wronged and went over the line, or just tempting unfaithful men. I think it's interesting. We'll have to see how much they play into that, because they've really degraded. I don't know if degraded is the right word. It's kind of
mm-hmm.
the exact wrong word. But they've really
Yeah.
removed a lot of the sex appeal from Horror Nights. And there was never a lot. They used to have, a go-go dancer. They had a few skimpy outfits here and there. And they've made a big effort to rip that out and not sanitize. There's still that gore element, but the bad language has left, and that element has left as well. I'll be interested to see if they lean into that, because it's not just that the no more skimpy outfits. They've we had that Eternal Bloodlines maze last year, and it was all women, but they all were not very attractive women. They were all dressed in a very kind of masculine way. Whereas you could have had, like a beautiful mummy or a beautiful vampire. They didn't go that way. So I'll be interested to see with some of these where it's, they're supposed to be beautiful, but then you see the true terror face. I'll be interested if they actually allow that to exist, or they're just going to go straight to the ugly face.
Yeah. No, it's really has changed. It's not the same. Especially this change has been brought upon as the introduction of more kids at horror nights has
Yeah.
increased.
It's also something that's coming from above. I don't have a ton of inside information. The information that I have that has come out has been that the go-go dancers were a hard no more of this from like Universal executive level.
Yeah.
And
I
that's kind of
think
filtered into everything.
I think it stemmed from people complaining that their children watch this. And my question is, why did you bring your children?
Your children should not be there at
Yeah, I was
all.
like, why did you bring them? This is not for children.
Yeah. I mean, Fortnite, it was never, X rated. It was just a little raunchy. It was like PG-13 level raunchiness, and it's gone to like PG level. And even that, it's gone to like G level raunchiness in terms of attraction. Let's at
Yeah,
least get back to PG-13. I would like it. There's always been that in horror films. The classic slashers always have that going on. So it would
yeah.
be nice to see it come back. We'll see. I have more about Monsters 3. But I do think it's interesting. This is another female-led maze, and Eternal Bloodlines was such a flop. I'll be very interested to see if they approach it differently.
I really want to be in the room with Murdy and be like, what the heck, dude?
Don't do Eternal Bloodlines. Just
Yeah,
just don't. Just don't do it.
yeah.
There's a few more things that have been coming out about Monstrosity. So Merity said the Monstrous mazes were always planned as a trilogy. It was always meant to be three parts, and he envisages it as you're in the cemetery of the dead, which is where all these are set, and you just pan your camera over, and you're seeing different parts of the cemetery for each maze. And this is the final part. So La Muerte, who is the Grim Reaper, and he kind of tends to the cemetery, will be back. But this year he has a new friend. We're going to meet El Muerte's pet, a black cat named Oscura.
And what again?
Oscura. O
What's
S
his name?
C U R A.
Oscura. Oh,
Yes.
darkness, darkness.
Yes, that's what it translates to. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm excited that there's going to be a black cat. I hope it's a real cat. Probably
Uh-huh.
not, but maybe.
Yeah, it's gonna be a black cat that's gonna be roaming the maze.
I'm a big fan of black cats, and that would be cool if there was just a black cat in there with you and you could get scratched at any time. That would be scary.
It's like I
No,
hope
the
you're
cat
not
would.
allergic.
The cat wouldn't like horror nights. No cat would have a good time there with all the lights and the noises.
No.
But no, I think it's cool. I like El Muerte. I think that's their best Monstros character. It's nice he's coming back. I think it's cool that they added a pet for him. I think it's very cool that it's a cat instead of a dog.
I wonder if it's gonna be a live cat. Probably not.
No. Any cat with all the smoke machines and so many people at horror nights and all the noises, they would just flee and find a corner to huddle down in all night. They would not like it.
I wonder how they incorporate the his pet into the maze, like,
I
because
think whenever you see him, there'll be a cat, in the scene as well, just
uh,
either near him or on a sitting someone taking a bath. It would be cool if they had an animatronic that really gave itself a little fake cat bath.
yeah,
That's
because
my dream.
remember in the years past, he's always in the front of it, just kind of like
Yeah,
tending
tending to the.
the
So I think you'll
grace.
see. I mean, I think he's also usually at the end. It would be cool if, because this is the finale of the trilogy, if they did one gauntlet at the end that was not only these three ghosts, but let's bring back all nine monsters for one last hurrah.
That's a lot of money. There's not enough space.
No, it's just the same. They already have all the costumes, and they're gonna have actors anyways. I think it would be cool.
It would
Anyways,
be, but remember that that space has is very finite. It's not
we'll
huge.
we'll see. We'll see. It would be cool. They're not doing it, but it would be cool. Maybe they
Yeah.
will. Never say never.
Never say
Moving
never.
on. We have a three-way tie actually for the next one, and they all feel fair to be the three-way tie, where they're all kind of in this middle zone for us, where we're not like hyped out of our minds or even really that hyped, but we're not like let down either. These are the mid phases.
Yeah.
They're filling out the event. I think they're doing a good job filling out the event. Last year, it felt like every maze was a filler maze and not good ones. These feel like good filler mazes. So let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Let's start with Poltergeist. Poltergeist.
They're
Poltergeist is going to
here.
be Poltergeist is going to be at the Curious George lot area. This is the area you reach by walking past the Harry Potter ride. It's around where I think Ghostbusters and Insidious were there last year.
Yep.
Is going to be largely the same as the 20. So this is a repeat. It was here in 2018, which we didn't experience. It's going to be largely the same. So if you experienced it already, don't expect a lot new, but there will be some new things. Marty says that you learn things doing these houses. He said he wanted to increase the scare factor of certain scenes. So he's added scare actors to scenes that before were just scenes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Poltergeist making its return?
I mean, at least updating it and to be more interactive with scare actors instead of just scenes. That could be a nice little go about. It all again. It depends on what specific scenes he chooses to incorporate this into.
Well, I think there's a lot of variety in Poltergeist. I'm not going to tell you the scene he said specifically. I feel like it would be a spoiler. But there's a lot of things in Poltergeist that play well into being a Horror Nights maze, and there's a good variety of going from just a spooky thing happens, like a chair slides across the room, to the guy has a nightmare of him peeling off his own face, and it's a gore scene. So it runs the gamut. I think it'll be good. It's a good variety. It was well received when it came in 2018. I think people are disappointed it's a repeat because people don't like repeats, but it's not a repeat for us, and we like Poltergeist.
Yeah. Plus, it's been a couple of years. It's not like it was like back to back repeats.
Yeah, and it has
Yeah.
another clown. This is really the year of the clowns.
That clown is a weird clown.
That might be scarier than art. That's a scary clown.
Yeah.
So we
No.
don't have too much to say about this one. But as far as filler mazes go, I mean, you could do a lot worse. It's no Exorcist Believer.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, no, it's much better.
Oh.
Next up is another repeat, but a little enhanced this time. I don't know if enhanced is the right word, but a little different. This is Scarecrows featuring music by Slash. How well do you remember Scarecrows? I don't think that well based on our previous conversations.
No, I did not, because I confused it with the with Baby Crow, and it was a
Yeah.
reminder that no, these are like
That's a scare zone. This is a
yes,
house.
yes, this is supposed to be like scarecrows kind of thing that are
Yeah,
come to life.
scarecrows come not crows, scarecrows have come to life and they're
Yeah,
evil.
yes,
Now, there hasn't been too much extra revealed beyond this, beyond Slash's doing the music. Even when they promoted this, they promoted more the Slash bar than the maze itself. They're also putting out another album. So last year they had an album of Slash music that he had done for Horror Nights. This year there's a volume 2 featuring the rest of the music. There was a lot of debate online. This is the main information I could find about it, about whether or not the music will detract from the maze or not. Because people said what we really liked about the first one is it really put you in this desolate vibe of this abandoned, destroyed farmhouse where something terrible has happened, and it's quiet, and you can hear the crows, and you can hear the wind blowing through the corn stalks. And now it's going to be rock music. I don't know how much I agree about that because I think Slash showed he can do this kind of gothic music very well, doing the Universal Monsters mazes the last few years. So I think it'll be interesting to see can he is he just going to do Guns N' Roses? Is he going to do Gothic again, or is he going to go and really try to embody that Scarecrow's vibes and enhance it with music? Birdie also said there will be changes beyond the layout and the score. Now, this could also just mean there's some lighting changes or there's one or two extra scare actors. Could also
Mm-hmm.
mean there's some new show scenes that might suit the vibe slash brings better. So, a few question marks around this one, but I feel like even if it's just a repeat with slash music, for me, that's still pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, Slash's music has always been on point, especially Guns N' Roses.
Even in
So
Eternal Bloodlines, I thought the music was fine.
yeah.
I mean, the bass was bad. You weren't paying attention to the music, but the I was enjoying the music part of it. If you walk through that with your eyes closed, you would like it better.
Yeah. That's it's this is the blind maze. We just close your eyes and just vibe. The vibe maze.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is not that. No, I'm interested to see just like the concept idea of scarecrows is kind of not so scary to me, but the
Really. So if
incorporation,
you woke up and there was a scarecrow trying to murder you, you're like, meh.
they're only
You're like,
they're
call me when there's a real monster trying to murder me, Mr. Scarecrow.
the if a little bit of fire can put him out, then I'm not scared.
I think he wants your brain.
Oh, good luck with that. No,
It's easier
uh,
than asking the wizard for it.
the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. No, I'm excited just to see the incorporation of the music, and I heard there's gonna be a Slash character that's gonna be on
Well, that's
top.
at the bar. There's going to be a slash walk around something
Uh,
going on. It would be funny if they had a slash, like Slash is in the farmhouse somewhere, but he's been, destroyed by the scarecrows.
uh,
If I was doing the music for Horror Nights Maze, I would say, yes, put me in there as a victim of the monsters. That's what I would want.
no, but I'm talking more like remember last year the weekend where they had an actor
Oh yeah, they had a
personifying the weekend.
weekend.
Yeah, they
I mean,
had
that'd be cool if, like, maybe out front they had a Slash playing like acoustic.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like that kind of idea where they'll have their own Slash out front, get hyping you up as you're waiting for that 2 hour line if you're general admission.
That'd be cool. So this isn't going to be in the same place as Weekend. This is going to be in the Transformers queue. So it's where Leatherface was last year, where you kind of go around the back of Transformers.
Transformers, yeah.
It's the
Well,
same.
it's
You
if you're
lined up there
facing
for Dungeons
Transformers
and
and you're
Dragons for
yeah.
FanFest, but for that one you went inside the soundstage. This one takes place alongside the soundstage.
Yeah, so it'll be
We'll
interesting.
see.
Yeah.
But I think this will be. I think I can't see this being like, oh wow, this was awful. I'm sorry I did this. I think at worst it'll be like, oh, that was fun.
It was something.
Okay. Now we're
Next.
moving into one. There's a bit of dissension on this one, so it tied because I ranked it fourth and you ranked it six. This is Five Nights at Freddy's, which is one of the big properties coming this year.
Yes.
Now, you ranked this fairly low. Why was that?
Because I don't have faith in how they're gonna incorporate giant animatronics into this maze.
Well, we've learned a little about how they intend to do that. So this is going to be at Soundstage 15, which is the same place that Stranger Things was. It's the same place that the weekend was. So there's been plenty here before. So it's a big space.
Yes.
And what you said about how are they going to do these workshops? So the animatronics are not being made in house. They're being made by the Jim Henson Creature Workshop. Of course, Jim Henson is known for the mummies. He also did the creature effects for Star Wars and a variety. It is the gold standard of creature effects in Hollywood. And part of the reason why it didn't come last year is because Murdy told the story of he was walking around the Horrors of Bloomhouse show 2 years ago in the DreamWorks Theater, and they had the animatronics from the Five Nights and Freddy's movie in the lobby, and they were a big hit with the crowds. And he said that's how we can do the maze, is we get Jim Henson to do the animatronics for the maze. And they've been working on them now for over a year, so they weren't ready. The
Mm-hmm.
animatronics weren't done in time for the last Horror Nights. It's been a long journey to get these guys ready. It's going to be the most complicated animatronics they ever had at Halloween Horror Nights. They said there's a variety in terms of some of them move a little, some of them are they're trying to replicate exactly how the Freddy character, the giant bear animatronic, moves in the games, as if you were really, in the pizzeria, you were watching him perform. Some of them are puppeted, and some of them they said you're going to think it's someone in a suit because it's so lifelike, but it's not. It's an animatronic. So this is going to be a real heavy effects maze. It's not going to be only animatronics. They said Murray teased this on Twitter. He said, these animatronics are coming to life because they're haunted by the souls of these ghost children, these children who were murdered in the pizzeria, and now they're haunting these animatronics. And you will see scare actors portraying these ghost children here and there to come out and spook you. So there'll be a human element as well. Also, what they're doing that is unique, they've never really done before, is they're trying to recreate the entire pizzeria. So they're really trying to just recreate the building and let you walk through it. I can't think of any time they've done something exactly like that before. It's always just kind of disconnected scenes.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because the game is really gives you a sense of space because you're trapped, but you're watching cameras of the entire building. So if you play the game, you get to know the layout very well. And I think for people who are big fans of Five Nights at Freddy's, and there's a lot of them, that's going to be a real treat.
I'm excited for the concept of the entire pizzeria and everything just incorporating, but at the same time, I'm going to be more refrained from being overly excited, but I'm excited enough.
I'm just excited for this. Again, this is not a franchise that I think either one of us has a strong basis in, but
Correct.
I'm very intrigued by the technology that's going to be on display here. We saw Jim Henson produced a really amazing puppet for FanFest in Xanathar the Beholder at the Dungeons and Dragons exhibit. I'm excited to see what they do with not that in terms of that scale, but with a lot more time to work and a lot more animatronics in the same maze.
Yeah, it's been over a year. They've been working on it, and since you gotta go with the gold standard. So
Mm-hmm. It's got to be good.
it's gotta be good. And the fact that they believe that we won't be able to tell human from an animatronic, that's where the real kicker is. I'm excited for that specific aspect of which one was not a person behind the mask, which one was purely animatronic.
Yeah, great. Moving along, now we're into the top three. So really, Five Nights at Freddy's, I think for the general public, that is one of the heavy hitters this year. Really, there's four big heavy IPs. Again, that's just lesser for us because we just kind of missed that franchise, but for general crowd. And now we're into really the heavy hitters. So number three, our consensus number three, we both rank this third, Terrifier. We've already mentioned that quite a bit in this episode. It's come up a few times.
Yes.
Terrifier. I mean, it feels like Art's almost the mascot this year.
Oh, he was definitely the mascot of Midsummer Scream.
Yeah, he was everywhere Midsummer Scream.
Uh,
I mean, he's really, as they talked about this at the panel, that it's really the first slasher icon character to be created since the 80s.
yes. Everyone else has moved on from Slash for the most part, and Art is the first comeback of that. Maybe he's the
Yes.
spark of a new renaissance, but we shall see. Cause
I think you have to have more than one. I mean, it felt like Megan was going to be a horror icon, and then they totally torpedoed that with the
with
sequel.
Megan too, yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta have a few more icons up on Mount Rushmore. What we learned a lot about Terrifier. They brought us through this maze in detail. This will also be at the Curious George lots. We'll be near the Poltergeist maze, past the Harry Potter ride.
Yep.
How much do you remember from that Midsummer Scream presentation? Now they took us through pretty much the whole maze. Don't go to that level of granular detail, but give us some of the highlights.
They're gonna build the Terrifier funhouse, almost
The
just
facade.
the facade, yeah. And it's crazy because in the film, that is not even a facade. it was created using forced perspective because they didn't have money to actually build one.
Yeah, they made a miniature. It's like a funhouse entrance. So you see, a big
Yeah,
clown face and like a devil face and some spooky stuff, and it looks like any sideshow carnival funhouse you've ever had in your nightmares. And what I
exactly.
appreciated was the Hollywood version is like a one-to-one recreation of what you see in the movie, just scaled up to be actual life size. And in the Orlando one, they changed it. They said, "Well, Art's painted over the clown face to make it look like him." And I was like, "Not as good. Not as good, Orlando."
Yeah, and Orlando gives you. Oh, so something was released was that this maze was going to be wetter. It's going to be the
They
wettest
talked about that a
maze.
lot,
Yeah, and I liked how Orlando was like, we will give you the option
right?
of
They have a dry
choosing.
path and a
Yeah,
wet path, and in
yeah.
Hollywood, you just have
He
the
just
wet
put.
path.
Yeah, it was like if Murdy pulled up two middle fingers and was like, "Nah, you're gonna go
It was
through
like,
the
"Yeah,
wet
y'all
path."
gonna get wet."
Yeah, and he's like,
Now
"People have been
I
asking me, what should I wear? Is it gonna be blood? Do I need to wear a poncho?"
I feel like I want to wear a pond. I'm worried about. I don't know. If it's just water, that's okay. I'm worried it's gonna be like red, and I'm gonna stay in a shirt. I can't imagine they would. I think it's just gonna be water, and it'll be dark, so you'll think it's blood. I'm not as afraid of getting wet as some other people in our traveling party are, but
Hey,
we'll see.
I am not afraid of getting wet during the day, but at night when it's cold, it's a different story.
Now, something the Terrifiers movies really push is the gore.
Yes.
And we actually learned because the director was there and he talked about it. He said, "Well, I was competing. You put out your indie movie that cost $50,000 to make, but I'm competing with studio horror movies that cost $20 million and they come with all this IP and I have this original character. What can I do to set myself apart?" He said, "Well, what I can do is I can do the effects that no studio would ever touch."
Mm-hmm.
And he really does, and that is I respect him more because I thought he was just doing this because he was a sick person, but it turns out no, it was a business decision, so I could respect that. Um, and
Eh,
they're really going all in on recreating these kills, so I don't think we're going to divulge too much based on what we saw. I'm sure you can see the panel online on YouTube if you search for it. But any iconic kill that you think no, they wouldn't do that. No, no, they're doing them all.
Yep. And at one point, they're just gonna have them all splayed out for you to be terrified through.
You're gonna walk past three of them, one iconic kill from each movie in a bathroom because Art not only likes to be gross in terms of his kills, he also is gross about smells. Let's put it that way. So expect the nastiest smell-o-vision you've ever seen in a Horror Nights house in this maze, is what I can tell you based on what they showed
Yes,
us.
because in the movie, art. This is the funniest part. They used an actual working bakery or pizzeria. Was
Pizzaria,
it pizzeria? Yeah. So he's like, we worked from dusk to sunrise, and at
trying to clean.
sunrise, it was still dirty. There was still
Yeah.
blood and places that shouldn't have been.
Right. Not just blood, but other disgusting things too you would never want in a pizzeria. And you're gonna get
Exactly.
that. You're gonna get that whole experience. Something also they teased for Hollywood that I thought sounded interesting was don't take the chicken exit. So whenever you go through a house in Hollywood, if you get too freaked out and you go up to one of the people kind of waving you through in the ropes and say I just need to get out, that's the chicken exit. There's exits throughout the house, so if you ever just overwhelmed you can get out without having to go through the whole house. And they're playing with that this year where Art doesn't like the idea that you're getting out of his house early. So if you try to take the chicken exit, you might see a little glimpse backstage, but Art's already been there. And you're going to see the chaos that he wrecked upon people trying to take the chicken exit before you. I don't know if that's going to be just a finale or if you actually go and try to take a chicken exit in Terrifier. You're going to experience a little bonus maze. But I think I love that concept. I love playing with the it's a little meta. I love it.
Well, it goes back to the idea there's no safe zone now.
Where you can't get away from him.
Yeah, you can't get away.
He's also coming for you in line. He's going to be exiting out of the facade and coming to terrify the people in line waiting to get in.
I'm excited for that. I
Yeah,
mean,
we don't get to experience that
we
because we don't
have
have
no
the line.
line, but
Yeah,
yeah.
We can hang out near the front of the line and
We'll
see what
s-
we can see.
we'll see. Probably see him as we pass them.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would say for the real hardcore horror nerds, this might actually be the number one thing coming.
Yeah.
Especially based on just the costumes we saw at Midsummer Scream. I would say art was probably the number one costume.
The art costume, which yeah,
And it's not a hard costume to do. It's a little harder than maybe a Michael Myers. You had to put some face makeup on, but it's just face makeup, white and black clown costume, good to go.
yeah, and it was funny because the directors talked about how the concept of the little pale girl arose because more women started dressing up as art that they had to get ahead of it and create the character of the
Yeah.
little pale girl.
Yeah, you'll see her in this maze too. You're not only going to be scared by art. In each of in Terrifier 2 and 3, he has allies, and you will be terrified by them as well. And you also see the protagonists from the Terrifier films will be here
Yes.
getting terrified alongside you.
Oh my god.
So
When they presented Vicky, that was
you were
scary.
terrified in the audience for the panel.
Yeah. I was like,
And you've
damn.
seen that movie.
Yeah, I was just
So
like,
imagine what it's going to be like seeing her in the maze.
yeah, but it's like, dude, wow.
Yeah,
They really
this
went with
is
it.
look, if you're a little squeamish about gore, but you go to horror nights anyways because you feel like, well, it's not that bad. This is maybe skip this one.
Yeah, Vicky Hayes was wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Any final thoughts before we move on to the top two?
Let's go.
All right, number two. I'll put so we have dueling number ones where I ranked one number one and one number two, and you did the inverse. But we have a consensus top two. So I'll use your order because we used my order earlier. Uh, Number two on our hype list, Jason Universe, the return of Jason Voorhees and Camp Crystal Lake. Are you ready to hear about my Jason Universe research, or do you want to give your impressions first?
Well, having gone through one similar in Warner Brothers, I'm really wondering
Hmm.
how it's gonna differ.
Well, there's
Okay.
no Freddy.
Mhm.
So this is going to be in the Mummy queue. So this is you walk past the Mummy. That's where The Last of Us was. We've had good mazes there before. It's a good venue. I'm excited for it.
Mhm.
So Murdy approached this. He said his thesis was imagine someone's going back to Camp Crystal Lake after all these years. What would they find and what would happen to them? What would happen to them? So guests are going to join groups of it's like you're taking a tour, kind of like a an urban explorer tour or like a horror tour, almost a ghost tour of abandoned Camp Crystal Lake. There will also be bloggers, kind of similar to the concept of Chucky last year, where there was Chucky was attacking bloggers. That same concept of people, on their phones trying to get videos of this was the site of the murders. However, turns out Jason's still there. So that's going to be creating his victims. So you'll see both, kind of ancient signs of Jason, but also fresh kills. And you'll see him, I'm sure, tearing people apart in your simulated tour groups.
Yep.
He's saying this is going to be a vengeance tour of Jason history. So it's a new story, but the kills are going to be iconic kills from the franchise, focusing on Friday Part 1 to Part 7, maybe a little bit of Part 8, but they're not going to be going to Manhattan. And the later films, which are IP owned by New Line Cinema, I do not think will be included. So you're not going to see anything from Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, or Freddy versus Jason, or the reboot.
Yeah. Uh,
But I think most of the best kills are earlier anyway, so I'm fine. Fine with that.
no.
Locations will include Jason's shack in the woods, the decrepit maid lodge, and the forest. There also is going to be a scare actor in front of the facade, but they haven't said what that scare actor will be. Will it be someone from the tour group saying, "Hey, welcome to our crazy tour"? Will it be Jason himself coming out? Or will it be something weird? Will you see little boy Jason, or maybe even Pamela Voorhees, the ghost, coming out to tempt you?
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
No, when they
I
were
think
talking
this
to,
is a. Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say when they were talking about the influencers, my first thought went to Ryan and Shane. We're like,
Oh yeah, that would be the end of the Ghost Files.
yes.
Do you think Shane would still be like, I still don't believe you as he's getting slashed up by Jason? You're
Yeah,
not real Jason, but.
it's like everyone knows you're fake, Jason. No, yeah,
So this was my number one. It was your number two. I think it's obvious why it's high on our lists. I'll keep plugging it until I can't plug it anymore. Go listen to our entire Jason Fest. We reviewed every movie. It was a great time. I love this franchise. It's been gone so long. I think it's so cool that it's coming back in Horror Nights form before we start getting movies and such again. It's a whole new take. It's a whole new way to experience the franchise. Will it be better than the Freddy versus Jason maze? I don't know because that one was really good, and this one has no Freddy and no real lake. But I'm just gonna be happy to be back. I feel like even if this one is bad, I'm still gonna rate it highly just because it's Jason again.
I'm excited to see. I'm just kind of. I mean, it makes sense. They can't make a lake because
Yeah,
it.
at the Warner Brothers thought they had a lake that they used.
Yeah, they had a lake and it was great, and
Yeah,
it was
Jason came out of the lake. I don't know how they did
yeah
that.
yeah, but they say that that was not his character. That was actual Jason.
Yeah, it was Jason just showed up.
Yes. I'm excited to see how it all encapsulates. Again, like the best kills, fantastic idea. Um, let's see how it goes. Again, we did see the Warner Brothers. We did experience that one, so it's gonna be an interesting way of how we compare them later on between
You know,
who we
I'm
think did it
I'm
better.
I'm really glad that marathon is still a little fresh in our heads, and that in that marathon we selected out here are the best and worst kills
Mm-hmm.
because they're saying now we're going to recreate a lot of them. I'm going to be, you know, that meme of Leonardo DiCaprio from What's Simon Hollywood where he's watching himself and he's like, "Oh look,
Curtis.
that's me." I'm going to be like that this entire maze. I'm like,
Oh my
"That's
God!
from Friday
Stop.
4. That's Friday 6." The whole
Are
time.
are you gonna be pushing up your glasses like?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. This is a glasses on maze. You got to get every detail.
Yes. No,
Yeah,
I'm
so
excited to see.
that's very high. I don't have too much more to say about it. It's just I think it's going to be great. I don't think it can be
Yeah,
that bad.
I think
It
this
can't
is
miss. This is a look. It could be not amazing. It could be just in good or great tier, but I don't think it can drop all the way to bad tier.
it, also this is a house that speaks for itself. It has history.
Yeah,
It has lore. It has s'mores. Like what
it
else?
has a barbecue.
It has a barbecue and apparently fondue.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this house is definitely like. What more can we say that you can't have already have experienced by now in terms of its
If you're not hyped for this one, you're wrong.
yes.
Yeah. All right. That brings us to our final house of the event. This was my number two, your number one. We've already talked about it quite a bit at the food section. It's Fallout.
Yes.
This is going to be in the Walking Dead attraction. So, like we said, I'm coming from this from the gamer point of view. You're coming from it from the watcher point of view. But we're both very excited.
Yes, I'm excited to see it, especially as it is coming from the show perspective of it. I will actually know what's going on this time, which is when The Last of Us, I was like, what? That's
So
not Pedro.
this is really leaning into the show. So it's going to be a little bit like a montage of seeing these critical moments or just the most exciting moments from the Lucy McLean character's journey. So she's a vault dweller. She lives underground after the apocalypse, and she has to go above ground to find, I believe, her father. I don't know.
Correct.
And along the way, she has crazy, wacky adventures, and you're going to see them. But the scariest parts, they had assets to real things from the show. Like they had a face scan of Walter Goggins in the ghoul makeup, so they were able to recreate that mask as close to the actual screen as possible, and also access to all the props, so they could recreate them as accurately as possible. And as the gamer of the group, I'm happy about that because the show did a. I think the show actually had assets to the assets from the game, and they just brought them into real life. So this is a bit of a copy, but I think it'll work out fine. The power armor characters, there's characters who have this hulking armor, and that's going to be animatronics. So they're trying to make that as if it's life size because they're not just like Iron Man, where he's, he maybe gets an inch or two from the steel boots. These guys are hulking over. They're massive almost monsters in their metal armor.
I mean, the
And they're trying
best
to
way to
recreate
think
that
of it,
scale.
the best way to think of it, I think, is through the transformers that are outside.
Yeah, that should be around that size,
Yeah, that's the. I feel like
but a
that's
little
the best one.
bulkier.
Yeah, yeah, a little just more bulk because they are fitting a quote unquote a whole human inside of them, and so yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
In terms of monsters, they've also teased that they recreated the Yao Guai bear, which is a giant mutated bear. When I say giant, I mean giant. I think it might also have two heads.
Yes.
And there are, I think it appears in the show fighting with the power armor guys. And in the game, when you encounter this character, it's like you might want to back up because if you're not like ready, you're gonna lose.
Okay.
And they said this is going to be one of the biggest creatures they've ever built for Horror Nights. So that'll be striking to see. And we saw in this venue, this is in the old Walking Dead attraction. It was a quiet place last year, and we did see very big animatronics. We know this space can handle the scale well.
Yeah.
More on scale, it says Murdy talked about how fun it was to go from this cramped claustrophobic setting in the vault or in an interior and then opening up to a wide wasteland. So they're really talking a lot about how it's going to give you that sense that you're outside. It's huge expansive vista. I'll be interested to see how they do that. I think you remember that Stranger Things maze, I think it was 2 years ago, where there was a room where it was like the desert room and you were like just waiting to go in a door.
Stranger Things. No, I can't
You
say
don't
I remember
remember? Your
that
memory's shot.
specific.
Too
The
many Instagram reels, it's ruined your memory.
too many Instagram reels, yes, but that's such a very specific aspect of the maze. I'm just like, what?
We
No.
discussed it in our review. You need to re-listen to our episodes.
Ah,
Well, anyways, they had an effect there that did make it seem like you were outside. I think they might use that. Although that was a smaller one. I think they might try to do that on a larger scale where it's almost projections, I think, on the walls. So it feels like you're outside.
well, the one that
We'll
did
see.
have that was in the Texas Chainsaw universe, where they like quote unquote took us outside.
Yeah, but you can still tell you were in the maze. So you look around, the wall is just, there's a curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was also meant to be nighttime. And in the Fallout, the desert is, daytime. It's bright outside. Basically how they handled the daytime stuff.
Yeah, especially because in the show they there's no water, so they're all constantly fighting for sources of water.
It takes place in like California, but California's reverted to desert because it's all nuclear wasteland.
Yeah, it's specifically Los Angeles and Hollywood Hills.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're not taking my destroyed Universal Studios idea. Again, Murdy, you can have that one for free. I know you listen.
Of course he does.
Yeah. But I think this is another one. I will say, unlike Jason, Jason, I think, cannot miss. This one, I think, could miss. I think it could be bad. I think if they go really too far out of the scare
Uh-huh.
and it's just a walkthrough of disconnected scenes that I can't really connect to because it's too specific to the TV show, I could see myself walking away and be like, man, this was a real disappointment. But I don't think so. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be really good. I think it'll be super fun.
You know what I just thought about? Remember last year or a year before that, the radioactive gorillas?
That was last year. The
Yes,
zombie apes
the zombie
and
apes.
Dead Exposure,
Yes. I
Death
wonder.
Valley. That was our intro thing for
Yes.
the review last year.
Yeah, that'd be a great crossover in the future. 'Cause
The
it's this.
zombie apes and Fallout.
Yes, I mean they're in the same style ish of universe of.
I don't think they have apes. I'm trying to remember if you ever meet any apes. I don't think. Oh, you do. In Fallout 4, you meet android gorillas because all the gorillas are extinct, but they recreate them using androids, and they're very proud of themselves.
Nice. Let's see how they
There,
recreate.
there you go. There's some real Fallout lore for all you horror nerds out there.
Let's see how they recreate desert LA.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. And
All
that's
right,
all the
and that is the
houses.
full house lineup. That's all nine this year. It's a lot. It's gonna be a very full evening.
Lots of
I
food, lots of
think
houses.
overall pre-impressions I think are strong. I think last year we said, feels like something's missing. We were really glad Chucky was there because it felt like that might be the missing component, but then it didn't live up to expectations. It felt like last year the headliners were like, we're using Insidious, we're using Ghostbusters as our big IPs, and this year it feels like they've course corrected. They went
Yes.
out, they got the IPs people really wanted. Five Nights at Freddy's, huge following. Fallout, huge
Terrifier.
following. Terrifier, huge following. Jason Universe, huge following. It feels like they've heard the complaints. I think Murdy was explicit about this, that they've heard the complaints, that it's not as scary as it used to be, it's not as gory as it used to be. They said, we're doing Terrifier all the way. We're bringing the scares back. You're not safe anywhere in the park anymore. So I think they've heard the feedback, and I'm very excited for this year.
Specifically from us. They heard our feedback.
I think Murray listens. He's in our listener
I
base. When
mean,
I get one listen from the United Kingdom, I know he's using a VPN. I know. We don't get Ireland listens, but I know he's using that VPN.
they specifically listened to you complain about what was it, Fast and the Furious? They got rid of that
They
this year.
did. You were there when because I take surveys sometimes when we go, and you were there. We were like getting a sandwich, and I was like, "Oh, I felt this server right now." And we wrote a really detailed takedown of Fast and Furious Supercharged, and lo and behold, it's gone.
It's gone like it was never
And
there.
so is the Nope sets.
Yes.
So they
Everything
fixed Studio Tour for me personally.
exactly. Everything you've talked about disliking
It
slowly
all
but
comes to
surely.
pass. It
Slowly
all
but
comes to
surely.
pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait till we do our FanFest speculation, and then all our speculation comes true.
Oh my god. Especially specifically all the niche animes.
Yes. No, no. Pokemon. That was my speculation.
Yeah.
All right. That's my final word for Horror Nights before we go. Alvaro, what do you got to say? Parting thoughts.
What are your, from one being the most excited to 10 being the least excited, where would you rank your overall enthusiasm right now? Everything
It's
together.
it's rising. I would say, mm, 8.5.
So it's really low? One being the highest, 10
Oh,
being the
one being
lowest.
highest. I can't rank it that way. I can only rank it 10 being the highest.
Alright, then 10 being the highest.
8.5.
8.5. Oh, that's really high up there.
It's high. I mean, it's. I have a little trepidation as the last year was weak, and we'll have to see.
Hmm.
But eight for a pre-impression, I feel like 8.5 is very strong.
Yeah, I feel like I'm very similar in that region, like 7, 8, just because I'm really hoping that they don't. They say that they're gonna make it more terrifying, no safe zones, all this because of the herder complaints, but it doesn't mean jack until it's done, you know?
You're right. They got to cash those checks.
Exactly. So let's see
We'll
how
be
it
back.
goes.
We'll have to see how it goes. So I'm going radio silent on our social media, but we're gonna come back in a big way on the 13th. And I don't think we're going to record that same night, or maybe not even that Sunday, but definitely the week after. So before the next Thursday of Horror Nights, which will be the 18th, our review will be out.
Yes, let's see how it
So stay
goes.
tuned. Stay tuned for that. And don't listen to anyone else's review. They all review Orlando first on the podcasts. And don't watch YouTube reviews. They're just clickbait. You need the in-depth discussion.
Exactly. That almost 2 hour discussion.
Yes, yes. No, that is going to be longer than the preview, so it'll be 3 hours.
Oh my, it's gonna be Marvel
It's a big
Endgame all
one.
over.
It's a
It's gonna
big
be
one.
it's Endgame all over again.
Yep. And then we'll think of something fun to do for Halloween.
Yes.
The content machine never stops here at the Horror Nerds. All right.
All right.
I think that's all we have to say about Horror Nights, but we have one more thing to say before we let you go. Alwara, you want to take it?
Stay scared out there.
Thank you for listening to this production of the Hollywood Horror Nerds. We know you have many options for your listening entertainment, and we're glad you chose us. Find us on Instagram at Hollywood Horror Nerds, on X at HW Horror Nerds, and on YouTube at Hollywood Horror Nerds. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite alternative podcast site to ensure you don't miss next month's episode. And until then, stay scared out there.